All right, and we're back. So let's spin the wheel and see what we get for the second time today. Ooh, what's it gonna be? Archfiend Alteration. So, Archfiend Alteration, also known as Rakdos Midrange with extra steps. This is a deck that's built around the combo of Archfiend of the Dross and Metamorphic Alteration. So to go through it, Archfiend of the Dross is a 4 mana 6/6 flyer. When it enters the battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. On your upkeep, you remove an oil counter from it, and then if it has no oil counters on it, you lose the game. But that's not really relevant, since if you have a 6/6 flyer in play for 3 turns in a row, you probably just killed your opponent. Also, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, its controller loses 2 life. So, then you have Metamorphic Alteration, 2 mana aura, enchant a creature. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature, and the enchanted creature is a copy of the chosen creature. So if you have Archfiend, and your opponent has any creature at all, you enchant the creature with Metamorphic Alteration and make it a copy of Archfiend. Then you pass to your opponent, and on upkeep, the now copy of Archfiend will trigger to remove an oil counter, and since it doesn't have any oil counters on it, they lose. Now, if that plan doesn't work out, the deck also just has Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, Go for the Throat, Blood Tithe Harvester, Fable the Mirrorbreaker, Bone Crusher Giant, Corpse Appraiser. It's Rakdos midrange, basically. It's Rakdos midrange, but it's playing this combo instead of Shieldred and like whatever other things you would have. It also has worse mana because you have to play blue in order to get the Metamorphic Alteration. So the lands are Grixis mana with 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrants. Sideboard, typical Rakdos stuff: Stroke, Negate, Duress, Extinction Event, Rending Volley, Hidetsugu Consumes All, 3 Bank Busters for the grindy matchups, 1 Nicol Bolas. So let's go ahead and jump into the second league of the day with Archfiend Alteration. All right, we're on the play. Game 1. This hand is super awkward because we don't have red mana. And basically, if I don't draw red mana, the hand just dies on the spot, so we have to mull. Alright, no blue mana, but it is at least keepable. I don't need double Metamorphic Alteration, so I can put 1 back. So Black Cleave, go. Glacial Fortress, so guess blue-white control. Alright, run out Blood Tithe. Island. Back to us, so go to combat, swing here. So this could be like make disappear. What's the best move? I guess it's go Blood Tithe, see if it resolves. I'm 100% going to search with loot with this, so let's just shock this in and go Blood Tithe, see if this gets through a counterspell. It did get through a counterspell. I'm surprised. All right, go ahead. I'm almost certainly just looting Metamorphic away, because against control, this isn't going to matter. Plays a land. All right, Blood, discard Metamorphic. Thoughtseize is pretty good. Back to us. Another Thoughtseize. All right, go to combat. Swing with the Blood Tithes. All right, they took 6. Let's Thoughtseize them. They have Veto, Absorb, Shark Typhoon, and then just a bunch of lands. They also have a Gonjo that they didn't bother to use. And they didn't bother to Veto or Absorb this. All right, so let's take Absorb and then Thoughtseize them again. Or just play Bone Crusher. I'm inclined to make them either waste Veto, or if they cycle Shark Typhoon for 1, then just Bone Crusher before they do anything else. So yeah, cycle the Shark. Actually, let's just kill the Shark so it can't block. All right, stomp the Shark. Plays Hallowed Fountain tapped. So they're just still representing a Gonjo, which is fine. All right, combat. Swing with both of these. They have to use a Gonjo now, right? They can't just keep taking damage. No, they're just going to keep taking damage. All right, Thoughtseize you. All right, Absorb. Sure. So there's no creatures in the graveyard, so let's just shock this in and play Bone Crusher. Island. They can have what? Wandering Emperor? All right, go to combat. Swing with everything. 5 mana. Shark Typhoon 3. Okay, so they can trade with 1 guy. So block Bone Crusher. They take 6 down to 2. And then let's go Corpse Appraiser. Eat this. Fable the Mirrorbreaker on top. And then I'm just going to wind up discarding this to the blood token. So pass. Still haven't used Veto. Cycles Irrigated Farmland. So they basically need to draw into Verdict right now, right? All right, use the blood. Discard a land. Another land. All right, well, Bone Crusher will kill him. So let's swing with everything and see what happens. All right, so we won game 1. So I want all the Bank Busters because this is going to be grindy. And I want all the Duresses and Negate and Stroke for their big stuff. But then, and Nicol Bolas, again, because grindy. So what do I not want? Spell Pierce, because the game's going to go long. Make Disappear, again, the game's going to go long. Anything that's a taxable counterspell becomes worse. They don't even have that many creatures, and the creatures they do have are mostly made at instant speed, so the Metamorphic Alterations are, like, that plan is probably just not good Fatal Push isn't good either, though. They might have other big stuff that I do need to go for the throat, like if they bring in, you know, Baneslayer or that kind of stuff. So I can't just cut all my removal. All right, in that case, let's keep the counter spells, but just still no on the metamorphic plan. Yeah, all right, submit that. Once again, we're missing red mana. So without that, again, I just don't think it's keepable. Like, we can't just play everything off curve. It's maybe fine, but like doing nothing and getting to turn 4 and finally playing Archfiend seems so bad. I need to just pressure them. All right, that's better, I guess. Keep this, bin the go for the throat. They're not playing Kahira as a companion, so that tells me they've got some creature in there. All right, play this tapped, pass. That's actually wrong. I should have played Haunted Ridge first in case I draw like Blood Tithe Harvester or Duress, yeah. All right, so pass with Make Disappear open. All right, Darkslick Shores, Duress you. Their hand is Emperor, Emperor, Verdict, Verdict, Farewell, March. So they have a million pieces of removal. So let's just take one of the Wandering Emperors and then try to counter the other one. So they play a land and then pass. All right. Just keep... Is them flashing Wandering Emperor in here even a problem if I just play Archfiend? It isn't even a problem. I guess they... So they can go flash in Wandering Emperor, don't make a token, untap, kill the Archfiend, then make a token, and it's a problem. All right, let's just pass with Make Disappear open. All right, Make Disappear. And now we play the back and forth game of I play a threat, they kill it, I play a threat, they kill it, etc. All right, Haunted Ridge, play Archfiend. I'm specifically tapping like this in case they decide to end of turn, blow up one of my lands. Then the untapped land is Darkslick Shores, which is the land that I don't care about them destroying the least out of the other two. Yeah, so they're just going to use field. Sure. Grab a, let's see, blue, blue, probably more black mana. All right, Archfiend. Which removal spell will you use to kill this? Otawara. Verdict. What's the most mana efficient play? So I can go Corpse Appraiser, eat this, hold Negate up. But then if they just Verdict again, then holding Negate up was pointless. So let's just go... Although if they Farewell, then I don't get this anymore. So let's play Corpse Appraiser first, I guess. All right, red, blue, no. Blue, black, red here. Eat my Archfiend so I get to redraw. All right, Bankbuster. Man, Farewell also kills Bankbuster if they just find a land for that. So I guess I just pass and then hope they just Verdict this, although they're not even really pressured to Verdict it. All right, there's the 6th land. All right, go to combat, swing with the Corpse Appraiser. I at least get to get one draw off the Bankbuster if I play it now. Then they can Farewell both of them, but I at least get... Oh, and actually, then I get to counter Farewell, right? Yeah, okay. I only just can't counter Verdict. So, play Bankbuster. I'm going to shock this in. And then let's draw with the Bankbuster immediately. Okay, pass the turn. End of turn, march this. If I counter this, they just Farewell next turn anyway. It consumes most of their mana to do that though, and then we just get to redeploy creatures into a Verdict. Yeah, all right, that's fine. Plays Lyra, which we cannot counter, unfortunately. All right, stomp you. So if I play Archfiend, it's big enough that Lyra doesn't actually stop it. So play Archfiend. Play a land, go. And now if they sweep, they have to kill their own Lyra. They're attacking. So they could have a Gonjo or Wandering Emperor here, or they could just be attacking because they know they're going to sweep anyway, so I should block. Because if they're going to sweep anyway, then they're just gaining the life. Yeah, so then they lose 2 from that, and then they just sweep the board. Verdict. Now we draw go for the throat. All right, play Bone Crusher, and pass it back. End of turn, cycle farmland. Are they just going to consider it not worth farewelling this Bone Crusher? Sure. All right, go combat. Attack with Bone Crusher. Swing. March of Otherworldly Light. I guess I negate this. Veto. Okay, sure. So then I go second main, play Fable the Mirror Breaker, and then I have Spell Pierce for Farewell, which is the only shot I'm going to have to actually counter that, because then the mana is going to get out of control, is going to get to the point where I can't Spell Pierce anything anymore. So this is the perfect shot, yeah. So Spell Pierce this. Fable trigger, discard the go for the throat. Drew another go for the throat. All right, so Fable, and then go to combat with this token. Opponent goes to 14, and then we have another Fable trigger and a Reflection next turn. And they've been through a lot of sweepers already. Temporary lockdown. All right, well, at least that doesn't eat the Fables. So sure, that's fine. Cycle Sensor. Nicol Bolas off the top. Pretty friggin' good. So one flips over, then I'm going to discard the go for the throat, a land. If they have a counter spell, I need to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can pay for Make Disappear. All right, so Nicol Bolas. All right, they vetoed it anyway. All right, pass back. Both kind of in top deck modes here. I guess I should have just played that land. Teferi. Well, they top decked pretty well. Tuck our Reflection. Drew another land. All right, play this, go. Plus Teferi, 3 cards in hand. Memory Deluge, land. Well, I'm in a position where I basically just have to attack Teferi and hope they don't have an answer for Reflection. All right, so play Fable. So resolve that. And then copy the Shaman token. Memory Deluge in response. I don't think they have anything for 1 mana at that point, though. So go to combat, swing it to Teferi. All right, at least Teferi's dead, although they do still have 2 Memory Deluges and way more cards than we do. Temp Lockdown, sure. Eats the Shaman token. Another Fable, pretty good. All right, discard the Mountain. So if they had Wandering Emperor, they would have just done it then, presumably. So play another Fable. Veto. All right, Hive. Then I guess I just attack them. End of turn, cycle farmland. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 mana for Deluge. Shocking in this land. I doubt they have anything that costs 8, so yeah, okay, they're just leaving mana open. Elspeth to make 3 1/1s. Wait, yeah, okay. Make 3 1/1s. Back to us. This Fable flips over. We drew Corpse Appraiser. All right. Yeah, Corpse Appraiser. Trigger targeting Lyra. Archfiend or Blood Tithe? I'm gonna go with, it's actually tough. I guess Blood Tithe, in case I need to loot stuff. So, destroy all creatures with power 4+. So now I can just wait and make a bunch of copies of stuff. Elspeth doesn't actually sweep my board. Yeah, alright. So let's just wait. Like, I could make a copy of the Corpse Appraiser, but then it just gets chumped. End of turn, cycle farmland. Sure. That's all the farmlands, right? That's the 4th one. Another land. Memory Deluge with flashback. Sure. Make 3 more 1/1s. All right, end of turn, copy this one. No, they have removal. Aether Gust. Yeah, all right, put it on top. All right, now what? The massive amount of tokens here is going to be a problem. All right, copy Corpse Appraiser. Trigger targeting one of the Archfiends in the graveyard. Bankbuster, another Corpse Appraiser, or Blood Tithe. How much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 with the Fable, and then I'm going to run out of creatures. So let's get Bankbuster, and then let's just go to combat and attack Elspeth. And they just chump it. Sure. Then we go Fable and Bankbuster and pass. So I can get out of this potentially if I get another Archfiend, and then I can like haste the Archfiend into them or haste the Archfiend into Elspeth. Verdict. Oh well, yep, so be it. They should have attacked first if they were going to do that. Then they could have gotten in some damage. All right, yep, Verdict. And they make another 3 tokens with Elspeth. Another land. Cycles farmland. Okay, so that's the last one. All right, draw a card. Another Fable. This has been quite the game. Draw. Blood Tithe Harvester. I guess I don't discard anything. Well, I kind of need to discard something. So, like, the Elspeth's just going to sit here and keep making more tokens. So the Blood Tithes are not actually useful at this point. So let's just bin both of them. Another land. Another 2 lands, actually. They have 1 more Deluge, right? So I definitely want to get that out of their yard this turn, even if I have to trade the Hive for the 3 tokens. So animate, go to combat. Let's attack Elspeth. Trigger, get the Deluge out of the yard. All right, Deluge is gone, and then they can either chump or trade. All right, so they're trading. That's fine. And let's play Clearwater, Fable. I'm playing it over the Hive because I want 2 mana either to pay for Make Disappear or, more importantly, to activate Bankbuster and draw a card. Also, the Hive is just not that good when they can just keep making 3 blockers every turn. Flashes and Wandering Emperor. Make a Samurai. Field of Ruin also makes Hive not good anymore. Elspeth, make 3 tokens. Put a counter on this one. Sure. Then we'll take the damage from the Samurai. Go to 15. Activate Bankbuster end of turn. Another Blood Tithe. Thoughtseize, also not that great at this point in the game. So, Fables. This one flips. And then I'm going to discard Hive and Thoughtseize. We drew another Thoughtseize and another land. 1 second, guys. There's an Earthquake. Alright, I think we're good. What to even do here? Blood Tithe, then use the blood to get rid of Clearwater Pathway? Like, I don't even know. They make creatures faster than I can kill them, so... Alright, Blood Tithe. I don't even know what I could draw at this point. Like, we've been through so many cards. Sack the blood, discarding Clearwater. Another Clearwater. I'm going to hang on to using Bankbuster for now in case they have another sweeper. So, I guess we just pass. We get to flip the other Fable next turn. Yeah, what a long game. So, emblem their guys. This is 5, 8, 11, 14. We're not dead. Oh, no, we are dead. All right, activate Bank Buster. Another Thoughtseize. Awesome. All right, we're dead. Sideboarding, we have to win 2 games, or we have to win a game in 5 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I think this is all the same. Maybe Metamorphic is good here. Maybe. What is it better than? 1 Go for the Throat? All right, let's run that. All right, on the play, what do we got? Only 1 land. Even though we have 2 pieces of hand disruption, if we don't draw a second land, it's bad. All right, I guess I'm keeping this. We have no blue mana either? Jesus. Yeah, I guess I'm keeping this. Keep, pitch the swamp. Black Cleave, go. I'm going to turn to Bone Crusher because I don't want it to get vetoed. So I'm just going to cast it before they have veto mana. All right, Stomp now. Second land. Same thing, I'm just going to cast Bone Crusher instead of Fable because veto. All right, it resolved. Opponent plays their 3rd land. All right, go to combat, attack with the Bone Crusher, swing. So now let's shock this in so we can hold Spell Pierce up and play Fable. Well, there's veto, so we can't counter it back. But we can counter back maybe whatever they play on their turn, if they play anything. Although everything on 4 is instant speed, except Verdict, which we can't counter anyway. All right, 5th land, which is able to play Bolas. So let's attack with Bone Crusher. All right, I'm not going to jam Bolas into open mana, so let's just pass with counter spells up. Deluge, all right, Pierce. I'm keeping Stroke in case they play like Lyra or something, although even that's not too bad, but I think this counters more relevant things than Pierce does. And they're just passing it back. All right, go to combat. Swing. No reason to animate Hive, only to have it get fielded. Field to ruin the Hive. Sure, float mana. Not that it matters. Grabbing another Swamp. All right, mana fizzles. 3 mana. Shark Typhoon. Okay, so now we get to resolve Bolas. Chump block there, sure. All right, red, black, 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 blue. Nickel Bolas. I draw, you get rid of a card. A second Thoughtseize is actually pretty good on this board state. Exile the Plains. Another land. 6 mana for Elspeth. I actually do get to make 3 1/1s if I want. Or I can just blow up Elspeth. But if I blow up Elspeth, then these guys are a problem. All right, what do they have in hand? Thoughtseize. Verdict, Absorb. I don't care about Verdict, so let's take Absorb. So let's destroy Elspeth. And then I have to play this so that I have enough blockers. And they can Verdict if they want, but that's fine. So they can go attack Nicol Bolas with everything. I block 2 of them. Bolas goes to 1 counter, and then they can Verdict, which I guess is what they're going to do, right? Yeah. So block, block. Bolas goes to 1. Archfiend gets to trigger. They go to 6, and then they Verdict, right? And they go to 4. So they have 1 more card left in hand. All right, plus Bolas. All right, if they're keeping that card, I want to Thoughtseize it for sure. Take Baneslayer, play a land, play Fable, and then pass with Stroke up, and I still have Bolas and a Fable now. Bunch of mana. Cycle Farmland. All right, back to us. Fable trigger, I'll loot away the Watery Grave, plus Bolas. All right, go to combat. Swing with the Shaman. All right, go to 2. Play Corpse Appraiser. Actually, play a land. Play Corpse Appraiser. Eat your Baneslayer. Revealing Bank Buster, Corpse Appraiser. All right, Bank Buster. Then let's play Bank Buster. And then pass with multiple lethal threats plus Stroke. Baneslayer or Lyra, but just kill it. Doesn't matter either way. I could just kill it with Bolas as well. All right, so that was a long one. On to round number 2. There's no deck function in the chat, but this is what we're playing. Archfiend Alteration, so here's the deck. Red, black, mid-range, and a trench coat. So basically, the Metamorphic Alteration game plan is better when your opponent is the type of deck where grinding isn't going to do any good. So like it's better against mono green, for example. But having Metamorphic and Archfiend instead of Sheoldred and whatever else you'd play against like a super grindy matchup is worse. Can you show the lands again? I also just have the deck list available on Moxfield if you want to take a look at that. Let me see. Archfiend. Here's the link. It's kind of wild how quickly Rakdos mid just fell out of favor. I don't think it's out of favor. It's still around. It's still, you know, however much it usually is. It just has a not so great match against mono green, and mono green's probably the best deck in the format. So for a really long time, I was playing mono green, and I kept complaining and basically saying like, oh yeah, this deck sucks. Like there's all these matchups that you just can't win that are so terrible, like humans, spirits, like, you know, basically the aggro decks. And what I didn't realize at the time was that's not just a mono green problem, that's a format problem. Every deck basically has other decks in the format that you just have absolutely no shot of beating. All right, we are on the draw, and we can't do anything until turn 3, although this hand is fairly decent at finding the combo. We have one piece already and Fable to loot for the other one, so I think I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, all of the decks are available on my Mox field, so you can always go there and search up the decks if you're interested in them. And I do keep updating them. They're not like one and done flash in the pan. So if you see Archfiend Alteration on my Mox field, it's not going to be this exact version that we're playing now and that's it. I'll keep updating it as time goes by. All right, I guess I'm playing Hive first and then these other ones. I appreciate how organized your Mox field is. Thank you. Yeah, it's just broken down into decks by format. So it's humans, and they didn't have a turn 1 play, and now they're just running Thalia's Lieutenant out. All right, I guess I'm playing Thoughtseize. What do you got? If it's Adeline, I'm almost certainly just taking that. Yeah, okay. So Adeline, and then they just have 2 lands and Coppercoat. So let's play this and go. And have the primers on all of them. Yeah, I try to make it so that no matter where you find me on the internet, you can find everything else. Oh, they drew an Adeline? All right. So basically, like, all of the videos have links to my Mox field, and all of the Mox fields have links to the videos. So no matter which way you see it, you get it both ways. And all of the Mox field primers have the transcripts of the videos. All right, well, I can't do nothing, so let's just play Fable. But we're taking a beating really hard here. So now they get to play Coppercoat. And I can't even really block anything, right? I can, like, actually, no, I can't block anything. Is this lethal? 5, 10, 11. Oh, it is actually lethal. I have to chump. Oh, it was still lethal, even though I blocked like that. All right, what am I drawing? Yeah, there was no way. Okay, humans. Extinction Event, Rending Volley. Do I want Hidetsugu's? Kills all their 1-drops, but doesn't kill anything else, and their main problem creatures are the 2-drops. I guess it's okay. Cut that, so definitely no Spell Pierce, no Make This Appears Too Slow, probably. I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm just holding this. And then Thoughtseize is not great either. Like, if we're in top deck modes, I'd rather just trade with their guys. I don't want to be taking damage from these, so let's just run that. All right, we have all of our colors. So let's keep and play Haunted Ridge first, in case I want to volley something, although I'll probably just run Blood Tithe out turn 2. But I need to play this first anyway in order to do that. Opponent mulls to 5. Thoughtseize Bug strikes again with the Adelines. Yeah, so yesterday I was at a party with another person, and they're like, hey, let's do Arena. I never play Arena anymore on my own, but I played Arena there, and proceeded to... So we did one Lord of the Rings draft on Arena, and proceeded to get flooded the first game, or no, yeah, screwed flooded 2 games in a row, then won the 3rd game, and then got flooded again. And it's like, I've been playing a fair amount of these decks on Moto, and I can't remember, like, it feels like I don't get flooded or screwed hardly ever. Did I just kill it? No, I just have Rending Volley. Okay, let's just go Fable, and then attack with the Blood Tithe. And then I can just use the Blood Tithe next turn if I need to. Swing. It would not surprise me at all if Arena is algorithmically designed to screw and flood you more often. Thalia, trigger that. I will snap trade this if they attack with Lieutenant. A 3rd Rending Volley. Okay, so at this point, I just want to discard what? Watery Grave, and then maybe the Swamp, because I just want to try to hit red lands. But if I just draw like Archfiend, then I don't want to lose my 4th land. So let's just discard Watery Grave. All right, there's Steam Vents. So shock this in, volley here, go to combat, swing, swing. This makes a treasure, and go to the opponent's turn. And then I'm going to get rid of the Swamp. All right, run back exactly the same thing. I don't know if... The only one I'm unsure about is Hidetsugu. I don't know if that's worse than just playing Thoughtseize. It might be on the draw. Yeah, all right, so Thoughtseize back in. Submit. All right, all our colors, multiple removal spells, a sweeper, and Blood Tithe looks great. Planes, Recruitment Officer. All right, I don't have the time to Thoughtseize them right now, so let's just play this, pass, and then volley them. Mutavault. Plays Coppercoat. All right, I'm going to kill Coppercoat instead then. All right, shoot that. Then take 2 from Recruitment Officer. Back to us. Let's play Blood Tithe. 3rd land. Even if it's Adeline, that's okay. Ossification, sure. At least it's not more pressure. Okay, Dark Slick Shores is a great draw because now I can Thoughtseize and have Fatal Push. So let's Thoughtseize them. Brutal Cathar and Lieutenant. Let's take Lieutenant and then just pass holding these up. All right, land. As much as I don't want to push this, I just kind of have to not keep taking damage. Plays Wedding Announcement. All right, so now I'm just going to jam out Archfiend, and then they'll obviously Brutal it, and then I'll just sweep their board. Or sweep Brutal, I guess. So pass to them. So yeah, Brutal takes Archfiend, they attack, they make another token. Ooh, Excellent. Now my extinction event kills even more things. So we go to 13, trigger, make another token. So extinction event, choose odd, eat those, get the Archfiend back, play Hive, go. Thalia. They could just attack with both in order to draw a card, but I guess that's not worth it, right? This just makes a token, flips over, and then anthems their whole team. No, they are going to attack. All right, block. I would not have attacked if I were them. They just get a bigger board if they don't. So draw a card, then anthem. All right, remove a counter. Well, drawing a land is not great, so if I attack now, then I just hold up Hive of the Eye Tyrant to block, and it can only block a token or trade with Mutavault. I also have to shock myself if I want to lose the blood. So let's just lose the blood immediately, because I'm going to do that anyway. See if I get something better. All right, well, it's another land. So let's shock this in. I don't think I can afford to just sit here as long as I have Archfiend trickling down. So swing with Archfiend. This is a two more turn clock after this, but I do have to find something to interact. They're going straight into combat without activating Mutavault. Just attack with Thalia. Sure. Go to 7. No plays. Back to us. Archfiend goes down to 2 counters. Another Archfiend. All right, combat, swing. Play the other Archfiend. So I guess this loses. If they have exactly land Brutal Cathar, this loses to that. All right, play this and pass. All right, we won. On to round number 3. Also, let me turn off the animations. I don't know what happened, but for the past week, Moto has forced you to reinstall the client every single time you wanted to load it. And every single time you do that, it resets all your settings. It seems to have been fixed. All right, we're on the draw for round 3. Well, obviously 5 lands isn't great, but we can at least use the blood token to filter, so I think it's keepable. Seachrome Coast. All right, so the Spell Pierce is useless. Let's push this now because Rattle Chains. Actually, Spell Pierce isn't useless. It counters Curious Obsession and their own counter spells. Supreme Phantom. All right, shock this in, play Blood Tithe, and go. 3rd land. Yeah, there's Curious Obsession, and now the game is not fun anymore. All right, 2, they draw a card. They get to hold up counter spells, or Rattle Chains, or slip out the back, or whatever. We drew another land, so let's discard Watery Grave. There's Metamorphic, doesn't matter though. So Dark Slick, attack with Blood Tithe. And now we're just going to slip further and further behind because of Curious Obsession. I guess I could have, made it a copy of Blood Tithe Harvester so that I could block it, but then it's still... Is that even worthwhile? All right, play Fable. Spell Queller, which I also can't pierce. Yeah, all right, I am not going to keep playing this. Sideboard. What do I want? I guess Extinction Event, Rending Volley, Hidetsugu's. They don't have that many 1-drops. They just have Wanderer and Spectral Sailor. What is bad? Probably Pierce. Everything else is kind of fine, though. Bone Crushers may be bad. A lot of their creatures survive the 2 damage. Mausoleum Wanderer also just straight up counters it. Rattle Chains makes this really bad. It's like the least efficient, although Go for the Throat. But Go for the Throat kills more things than Bone Crusher does. I need to cut some amount of stuff. I don't know how viable the combo is in this version either. Let's cut some of that. Let's cut this. I want Thoughtseize, but not like a million Thoughtseizes. And... what does that leave me with? Archfiends aren't as good if I'm cutting some of the Metamorphics, but they're still fine. They're big flyers that block all their guys. Cut 1 Bone Crusher. All right, submit. This hand's awkward AF, but I will keep it. I probably still just play Thoughtseize on turn 1, even though I need that to play Blood Tithe. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe I just... All right, play that. Pass to them. And then almost assuredly just play Blood Tithe on turn 2. Hallowed Fountain tapped. All right. Land, Blood Tithe. 2nd land. Plays Invasion of Gobakon. What do they take here? Do they take Thoughtseize or Archfiend? Like, I'm fine spending my whole turn casting Thoughtseize, so they probably just take Archfiend, right? They took Go for the Throat. All right, never mind. I'm slamming Fable. Fable, Mirror Breaker, and attack with Blood Tithe Harvester. 3rd land. So they must have something that they don't want me Go for the Throating. Well, there's another Go for the Throat. I honestly don't want to discard anything. All right, so let's see what we're getting ambushed by. Thoughtseize. Geistlight Snare, Rattle Chain, Spectral Sailor, Spell Queller, Wedding Announcement. So let's just take Spell Queller or Geistlight? Huh. If all they want to do is ambush me with Queller and then I just go for the Throat it, that's fine. So what's like the worst thing they can play? Is it Wedding Announcement to make tokens? That's not even that good. Is it Rattle Chains? Because Rattle Chains double spells. I guess let's just take as much flash stuff as possible. or Wedding Announcement. One of those two. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to take Rattle Chains. Go to combat. Swing, swing, make a treasure. No blocks. All right, end step. Spectral Sailor. They're attacking with the Sailor. Sure. We go to 16. Plays a 4th land. Wedding Announcement. So that lets them have Geistlight Snare up. So let's just go push this so that they're forced to use Slip Out the Back if they want to save it. I guess I want to kill the token, actually. So yeah, that resolves. Or I want to try to kill the token, rather. Shoot the token. So they can use Geistlight or Slip Out the Back. All right, it just resolved. Cool. Back to us. Fable flips over. Go to combat. Swing, swing. Make a treasure. Opponent's at 5. If I just play Blood Tithe, that just lets them play Geistlight Snare, so I guess I just don't do that. And then just, go for the throat on their turn? Alright, pass to them. So next turn I get to flip Reflection. I also have double go for the throats, although one costs a bunch. So obviously no attacks with the Spectral Sailor. I should do something on the end step, so let's go play this go for the throat on this Spectral Sailor. Spell Queller, So they take our go for the throat. Then it's back to us. And then I can copy Blood Tithe, Slip Out the Back, targeting what? Oh, they can target our own guy? Interesting. Sure. So then we go for the throat Spell Queller. All right. And then I guess just run the same exact thing back, right? Metamorphic is so, like, between Rattle Chain, Slip Out the Back, tons and tons of counter spells, the Metamorphic is so unlikely to actually resolve. So Bone Crusher back in. I guess Thoughtseize is actually relevant. And then is Hidetsugu's relevant? I still think it's not as relevant. What doesn't matter as much? Corpse Appraiser? All right, let's do that. On the draw for game 3. Okay, so we do have black mana with the Clearwater Pathway and red mana, so it's keepable. Hallowed Fountain, shocked in. Passing back to us. If they're shocking this in, that means it's a Spectral Sailor, so shock this in and go. All right. I'm not going to do it now in case they try to Curious Obsession, although I understand that it exposes it to Rattle Chains. All right, take 1 down to 17. All right, let's try it. It also exposes it to Slip Out the Back. It exposes it to multiple things, but I just want to avoid Curious Obsession or try to like blow them out. All right, there's Rattle Chains, unfortunately. Maybe it is correct to just shoot it immediately. I don't know. So black, Blood Tithe. We have a whole ton of Archfiends. So if we ever get to that, we're good. All right, at least no Curious Obsession. We go to 14. So the problem is, like, if I try to shoot one of them and then they have another Rattle Chains, I'm not racing them here very well, though. All right, try to kill the Rattle Chains. All right, that worked. So let's see. Do I need this to... I need this to be a second black source. And then we play Fable. All right, gets countered. If I ever draw my 4th land, I can just slam 3 Archfiends in a row, which should be pretty good. Take another one here, go to 13. I guess they just have all interaction if they're not playing Lords, Curious Obsession, or anything. All right, Archfiend number 1. Spell Queller, sure. More damage, go to 10. All right, another Archfiend. Geistlight. This strategy of the flash decks of just flash threats in and hold counter spells up is one of the most frustrating and horribly unfun strategies in the whole game. It's just, you don't get to play the game because I just counter your stuff, and if you don't play anything that's relevant, I just flash threats in. Another Archfiend and another counter spell. This one actually resolved amazingly. Oh, they have Destroy Evil. All right, so essentially a counter spell. So 3-turn clock or lower if they have more threats or lords. And I basically just can't even get rid of their stuff at this point. So I have to run out Blood Tithe and hope it gets through so that I can Blood Tithe the Queller, even though that's the absolute worst in terms of mana efficiency. All right. And then I can't use these blood tokens because if I do, then I don't have the necessary amount to kill Spell Queller. All right. So we go to 1. Fatal Push is a great draw. All right. So attempt to kill this. Cast the Archfiend. Another Spell Queller. Sure. Then Fatal Push it. Get my Archfiend. And then let's get Fable out. If they have removal for Archfiend, then we lose. So Slip Out the Back, Destroy Evil, land, Wedding Announcement. Okay. All 1/1s are lethal now. So tick down Archfiend to 3 counters. All right. I can't use Thoughtseize, so I'm obviously pitching that, and then I'm pitching this land. Rending Volley and another Thoughtseize. And I'm choked on red mana. So, I'm in a position where I have to race them because of Archfiend, but I also can't afford to attack with it. I guess I'm not choked if I play the Shaman, if I attack with the Shaman, right? So let's play Corpse Appraiser and Geistlight Snare. Yep, we can't pay for. All right, go to combat. Attack with the Shaman. So let's blood away the Thoughtseize. All right, kill this while I can. I guess it doesn't truly matter, but I guess it gets around Rattle Chains and whatnot. So kill Spectral Sailor, triggers Archfiend, and go. Mutavault, so that's more creatures that we have to deal with. Invasion of Gobakon to make disappear cost more is okay. And then they make a third token, and now we're to the point where we basically just can't even attack with anything. Another Fable. All right, so this Fable flips. So first things first, I have to see if this actually resolves before I can make any attacks. It does resolve. All right, I do have to actually kill them somewhat quickly, so I have to just proceed assuming they don't have a flyer with flash. So swing with Archfiend, and then pass to them. All right, they don't. And I have block, block, block available. All right, no attacks from my opponent. They make another token, and then this flips over, and they have an Anthem. One counter left. Draw a land. We're definitely ditching that. All right, discard this. Drew another land. All right, Fable, copy the Archfiend, then go to combat. Swing with everything. Make 2 treasures. All right, we kind of have Make Disappear open. All right, we won. That was pretty freaking close. We've 2-1s every match so far. On to round number 4. And so far, we've never metamorphic even once. Hopefully, we get to do it at least one time in this league. All right, round number 4, and we're on the draw. All right, this is fine. We'll keep this. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. All right. Well, I think I want to take Bankbuster here. Even though Fatal Push can kill our guys, I don't want them just outdrawing us. So yeah, let's take Bankbuster. Mutavault. Waste not. I don't care if they Fatal Push our Blood Tithe. We're just going to play that. And we at least get the blood to filter away some of these excess lands. Takenuma. Fatal Push our guy. All right. Animate Mutavault to attack us. Sure. All right. Blood. Discard. Blood Crypt. Oh, right. Yeah. Forgot about that. But them having 2 black mana doesn't matter. Okay. Well, play a blue mana and pass. They just pass back to us. So I guess the best move is what? Slam Archfiend, right? Or it's just Corpse Appraiser, hold up Spell Pierce. It's probably just play Archfiend though. Or maybe it's So it's not actually lethal in 4 hits if I play Archfiend first. So okay, let's go Corpse Appraiser, eat the Blood Tithe. All right, well, Metamorphic. And then play this as a blue land and then just pass with Spell Pierce open. Sheoldred's Edict. All right, Spell Pierce. Castle Locthwain. Now they're going to play Sheoldred? No. Turgrid's Lantern. Target player loses 3 unless they sack a non-land or discard. I'll just lose 3. All right. Archfiend, attack with Corpse Appraiser. Yeah, lose 3. That's fine. So they got nothing going on other than activating Castle. Oh, untap Turgrid's Lantern. Sure. Lose 3. All right. Archfiend trigger. Go to combat and attack for 10. Oh, I could have metamorphiced onto here to... Oh, no. Then I would lose, right? Yeah, okay. All right. Just pass it back to them, I guess. I found in most cases the Archfiend itself just wins the game, much like the last match. Yeah, pretty much. All right, how low can I afford to go? They draw cards if we discard any of this stuff, so yeah, I'll take 3. Animate Mutavault. But why, though? All right, kill that. And then trigger the Archfiend. What was the point of animating Mutavault? Fatal Push our guy. So make disappear, counter this, sacking Corpse Appraiser. All right, so mono black, waste not, discard dot deck. So duress, negate, anything that lets us draw extra cards is probably good. So let's see. Yeah, anything that draws extra cards is probably good against the all discard deck. So what is bad? The counter spells are actually decent. The Fatal Pushes, I'm assuming they're playing Sheoldred or some kind of threat, so I can't just get rid of anything, like all the removal. I have to keep some of it in. Metamorphic seems pretty dead. Bone Crusher also seems not great. I mean, I guess it's fine just as like an on-curve threat. I probably don't need all 6 pieces of removal, so I can cut, let's say, some of the Fatal Pushes, maybe even 3 Fatal Pushes, and that still gives me like 3 answers to Sheoldred plus Bolas. All right, let's do that. 2 lands, no red mana, but we do have Bankbuster, Duress, Make Disappear, which seems acceptable. Opponent mulls to 5. Hive the Eye Tyrant. No effects on us. All right, Dark Slick, Duress. Liliana or Go Blank. I guess Liliana. And pass to them. And then we'll just try to counter Go Blank. Swamp, back to us. Ooh, red. All right, pass back to them. Plays Gaia Reach. Plays the Go Blank, we counter. Then back to us. I guess I'm just going to get the maximum power on the board as quickly as possible. So Bone Crusher, go. Another land. Liliana. Well, so be it. So now we can go Bankbuster plus Blood Tithe in the same turn. Trigger that, make a blood. Play this on the black side. Play Bankbuster. Pass to the opponent. Plays a land. Fatal Push this, sure. And then they tick Liliana up and we discard Blood Tithe. So back to us. Play Corpse Appraiser. Eat Blood Tithe out of the graveyard. Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, another Corpse Appraiser, another Corpse Appraiser, and then crew the Bankbuster. Then I'll play this tap, go to combat, attack Liliana. All right, so then they locked Wayne to draw a card. Another land. Go blank, sure. Negate. I guess I want to keep negate. So let's draw a card. Filter that away. All right, Archfiend. So let's just go to combat, attack with Corpse Appraiser, and then pass with negate up. Urborg. Another castle activation. Back to us. All right, so Haunted Ridge, play Archfiend, crew Bankbuster, go to combat, attack for 7. Opponent Gaia reaches end step. All right, discard a land. They discarded another Gaia Reach. Go for the throat, our Archfiend. I guess I'm going to negate that. Go for the throat again on Archfiend, sure. We drew go for the throat. All right. If I just crew this and hit them, that's 2-turn kill. Is that better than just drawing a card here? Probably not. Draw another land. All right, go to combat, attack with the Corpse Appraiser. It's also a 2-turn kill if I just find another creature that can crew Bankbuster. So, a lot of mana. Meat Hook Massacre. Sure. All right, draw another card. Wow, this is something, all right. All right, play this and then just pass with 2 lands so that I can keep discarding to Gaia Reach if they activate it. Mutavault. Castle, they go to 5. Go blank. Sure. Discard 2 lands. Fable is actually not enough to crew this. All right, so crew, play Fable, then go to combat and attack with Reckoner, and they go to 1. Shieldred. We got our go for the throat for it. Cast go for the throat on Shieldred. All right, we've won the match, and we're 4-0 at the moment. On to round number 5. All right, final round on the draw. Have you tried the version that uses dig through time? I have not. We are missing red mana from this hand, so I can Thoughtseize, but then I can't play anything else. We're on the draw, but again, if I don't draw specifically red mana in the first 2 turns, this hand does nothing, apart from turn 1 Thoughtseize, so let's mull. All right, well, no red mana still, but there's more things to do. So what am I putting back? I guess it's honestly Fable. All right, mono green it is. Hive, Thoughtseize. I just have to slow them down enough to turn 5 kill them with Metamorphic. So I can't get rid of their turn 3 play, but I can get rid of Karn. Karn is like the card that would have the best out to this, so let's take Karn. Forest into Old Growth Troll, not Kiora first. All right. Well, Dark Slick pass. They also can potentially make Lair of the Hydra really big, so I might not actually be able to get them before they go off. So there's Nykthos. So they can go 4, play Kiora. And then they just have nothing else to do with it. Okay, but we're taking 5 and then even more next turn. All right, I guess I just got to play Corpse Appraiser to block. Eat. Oh, is it only creatures? I thought it was anything. Okay. Well, I'm still playing it anyway, just to have a creature in play. So they can make Lair really big, and then I have to chump block the Lair. So I'm going to be 1 turn too slow, essentially, because then even if I run Archfiend out, I have to chump again. 7/7. So I guess I don't technically have to block. I'm going to 2, so no blocks. All right, play this, play Archfiend, pass it back. Then Archfiend blocks the Troll, Corpse Appraiser chumps the Lair. Another land, another elf, 6 mana, untap, bunch of mana. Well, they don't need to tap that much for Lair if they're just animating Lair. I guess they are just animating Lair. All right, swing, swing, swing. Block here, block here. We go to 1, and then we get to enchant their Llanowar elves. All right, Metamorphic. Choose a creature. All right, upkeep. Boom. We did it. We did it the first time. All right, Stroke, Negate. Definitely Extinction Event. And Bolas. And then everything else is irrelevant. Hidetsugu's kills the Mana Elves, but that's it. It doesn't kill anything else in their deck. I guess it kills Oath of Nissa, but who cares? So, what am I cutting? I have to cut 5 cards for these. I'm not cutting Push because I need that on turn 1. The Spell Pierces are okay, but they just become less relevant as the game continues, but that could be said the same for Make Disappear as well. Go for the Throat. Again, I just have to leave removal in to kill stuff. Blood Tithe Harvester's fine. Corpse Appraiser is probably the slowest threat we have against them. It's like the grindiest card, which is not what we need in this matchup, so cut that, and then what? Spell Pierce is only good if we have it exactly early on. That just makes so much mana that it doesn't matter, but sometimes you have it at just the right time. I guess Blood Tithe Harvester doesn't attack well into their creatures, and also isn't good removal against a lot of their creatures, except for elves where it's too slow. All right, cut one of the Tithe Harvesters. Duress is also good against them, isn't it? You take Kiora, you take Karn. Yeah, maybe just that and then cut these. All right, let's do that. All right, we have got the combo. We've got 2 lands. We do have turn 2 removal. Keep. Also an extinction event. So basically, the only thing this hand is missing is just a 3rd and 4th land. Elf on turn 1. All right, play Blood Crypt, tap, go. Beseiju, Kiora. All right, so immediately just kill the elf. Stomp, and go. All right, they have 4 mana. What are they doing? Untap. That's a Karn. That's a Karn. Karn's for Stonebrain. So they can Stonebrain the combo out of our deck, I guess. Do I just play Bone Crusher Giant here? Like, it's the most... Or a Fable. Bone Crusher is the most, like, proactive threat here, but I guess Fable lets us discard garbage that we don't need. If they just play a blocker, then it doesn't matter whether we have Bone Crusher or not. Also, all their creatures are odd and our token is even, so let's play Fable. Stonebrain. So they can pop it and name Archfiend, I guess. Yeah, Archfiend. So we lose this, we draw a card. Fable lets us loot the 2 Metamorphics away. We drew another land. Minus Karn. Grabs Darksteel Citadel. All right. So Fable, use the ability, get rid of the 2 Metamorphics. Bunch of hand disruption. So combat, attack Karn, make a treasure. Karn dies, and then let's go Thoughtseize you. Wow. All right. So second Kiora is basically irrelevant. So do I just take Old Growth Troll so they don't have a blocker and then duress the Karn away and then any land as they storm off? No, any land they storm and we disappear it, right? Or I just disappear anything they play, right? So let's take Troll, then duress the Karn, then duress, storm the festival and hold mana open to make disappear Karn. Troll, shock this in, duress you, taking Storm, and then pass. Thank you for the sub, MC Gimp 1015. So their hand is Karn, Kiora, 1 unknown card. How do you get sponsored by Legion? They're my LGS. I'm not sponsored by them technically. I'm borrowing cards from them. So it's like, okay, you know, I can shout them out. So counter Karn. All right, so then we're good. They just have Kiora in hand. Another Fable. So that flips. So then I guess playing Fable here is the best move. All right, so play Fable. And then I'm holding this land so I can loot it. Swing at them. Doesn't matter attacking Kiora because they just have another one. I guess I don't have anything else to do, so I should just play Bone Crusher here, right? Yeah. Cast Bone Crusher. All right, go. Like, I'm not going to bluff a counter spell. So yeah, going back to sponsorship is like, what do you consider being sponsored, essentially, right? Like, they're not paying me in cash, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, so use the ability, pitch 2 lands away. All right, so now I can copy Bone Crusher and get in for a bunch of damage. Or I can just play Blood Tithe. I guess it's more damage if I... Yeah, so copy, and then go to combat, swing all at them. They're at 6. We play Blood Tithe Harvester, and go. Metamorph your Shaman into a Giant. I think we're good. They don't have any, like, crazy Nykthos mana. There's nothing they can really draw that stops them from dying here, like, even if they play Cavalier. All right, 5-0 with Archfiend Alteration. So, despite the performance... As you saw, we basically almost never actually comboed, just the one time in this last match, but every other time we never used it. So, I mean, Archfiend is just like a big threat that will kill them, but Sheoldred is also a big threat that will kill them, and Sheoldred's probably better more often than Archfiend is, especially on the back foot against aggro. So I think despite the performance here that the deck is just not as good as a traditional Rakdos midrange. Also, lots of color fixing problems. You saw a lot of times during our matches that we had issues where we were just like missing red a lot, for example. So even if this metamorphic plan was like good enough that the deck was as good as Rakdos midrange, I think it would still not be as good because of the color fixing problems. And also because you have to run a 3rd color, it means you can't run other utility lands. Like you can't play Castle Lochbane and that kind of stuff because your lands are too tight. I'm also not really a fan of these counter spells. Like they're okay, but Corpse Appraiser also is just fine. Do you think the combo gives Rakdos an edge against its historically bad matchups though? But does it really? Because if your matchup is bad, you need to be racing them as quickly as possible, right? Like if you're playing against Lotus Field, say, for example, you need to like put down some guys and start beating them in really fast. And if you're color screwed off of red, that's a problem. Although again, counter spells do make you slightly better against Lotus Field, but like not by a lot. So it depends. Like obviously the counter spells and the combo are better in certain situations, but I feel like overall probably the regular Rakdos package is better. Metamorphic is also just a pretty bad card in most other cases when the yeah, so if you don't have your Archfiend or your opponent doesn't have a creature to play it on, the Metamorphic is terrible. It's just a dead card. I think basically like all of this stuff over here is kind of mediocre. So yeah, again, like you can't put stock into just like, oh, we 5-0'd with the deck, therefore it's the better than it. No, I can tell just by playing it that it feels worse than just playing Rakdos midrange. Now, that's not necessarily the case that it would definitely be in all circumstances. I think you'd have to figure out like a different way of running the deck maybe. Like there's no reason the deck has to play Corpse Appraiser. You could cut that. There's no reason the deck has to play these counter spells. You could cut those and play other cards. But also, with Beseech the Mirror coming out in Wilds of Eldraine, this deck gets way better when suddenly you have a tutor that can find either piece. So it will perhaps go up in, you know, the stock of this deck will perhaps go up in value with the new set.